Okay, we good? Right. Apologies very much for the delay, everyone. Just some audio shenanigans. But yeah, this is Buzz Lightyear of Star Command. New Game Plus, all bosses. I'm StebMcDreb. I'll be playing the game today. And we should be ready to go in 3, 2, 1. And we're going right into the first level here, Joad 1. Gotta love that early 90s, late 2000s, voices only and left. Oh, no, wait, I realize what I've done. I realize what I've done. Hang on. That's something to do with... Oh, God. Give me a sec, I think this is an OBS thing. I'm sorry, this isn't usually a problem. How about now? I forgot to tick force to mono. Has that fixed it? All fine now? Okay. Sorry. Apologies, everybody. I'm gonna reload the save file for good measure. We fixed? Lovely. I'm so sorry. I forgot to tick a box. Okay. Attempt number 3 at starting the run. Onward and upward. Don't worry, this is all on brand. I'm a fucking disaster. Anyway, Buzz Lightyear of Star Command. I'm StebMcDreb. Let's start the run. New Game Plus, all bosses. I forgot to do the countdown. Attempt number 4! I'm so sorry! Okay, 3, 2, 1... Boom goes the dynamite. So yeah, this is a sort of run forward at the guy platformer type of thing. It's basically like Crash Bandicoot, except with cool space guns and Patrick Warburton. Basically, Buzz has to chase the criminals to their like getaway spot at the end of the level. And because it's New Game Plus, basically that means we start on a completed file, but we don't have to worry about any of the medal counts to unlock any of the additional levels, so we don't have to worry about doing any of the side stuff. So right away, got this jetpack, and I'm immediately thinking about how much money I have, because the money, the Galactic Alliance credits, or GACs as the game calls them, a red GAC is 1, a silver is 5, and a gold is 10, and I have to manage very carefully how many I have, so I don't pick up any extraneous GACs, because they count up at the end of the level to show how many you got. Oh, that's bad, but whatever. And I'm stuck on the wall now. You want to stay on these vehicles as much as possible, try and maintain as much fuel as possible, because without them, there's so much, because it's just a lot, you go a lot faster when you have them. Gonna pick up this shield so that we can go on the water, and now we're gonna arrive at the first boss fight any minute now. Basically, by beating the boss fight to their getaway spot, we're gonna get a bonus from our friend Mira, who's gonna deal some damage. There's Mira, with all of the 3 polygons in her face. And she's gonna weaken this guy's shields. And now we have to do the fight. And we're gonna pick up the Gatling gun at the back there. That's the green gun. Oh, jeez. And we pick up this thing, and then we just shoot this guy until he falls over. Okay, so that was a really bad Joad 1, but whatever, we'll take it. Onward and upward. I think things going wrong is just on brand for this run. When we don't save, and now we go into the next level, Flamar. We're skipping the cutscenes. Yeah. Here's Gravitina, again with about 3 polygons in her head. The previous villain was just some random thug. This is actually someone from the show, because yes, this is based on a TV show. Anyone who remembers the animated Buzz Lightyear Star Command TV show, this game is actually relatively faithful to it in terms of stuff that's included. And those are the kinds of games I like to speedrun. Adaptations of cartoons that are true to the source material, but still janky as heck. So yeah, and this level has one of the only major skips in the run. I'm going to explain it when we get to it, but for now, I'm keeping a very close eye on my fuel, because we want to run out right before the end of the level. I'm going to pick up this gun as well. I missed it, so we're going for a backup gun. So we have a rocket launcher now. Which, oh, bonked into that. That's also bad. But yeah, basically, this thing one-shots every enemy in the game, up to and including bosses for the most part. Yeah, this is a TV show. They made like a Buzz Lightyear cartoon. They had Patrick Warburton as Buzz instead of Tim Allen. Go for a jump there, damage boost off the lava. Avoid these little brain suckers. And now... oh, jeez. And now here's the part where I gotta do the skip. I gotta land in this lava. I don't think I got it. Oh, no, I got it. Yes! So basically, by standing in the lava, that lets us move in the cutscene. Which lets us get closer to the boss and also damage a shield. Quickest boss fight in the world coming up. So yeah, basically, we were able to do a bit of damage to the boss during the cutscene. We couldn't kill her in the cutscene because that makes the game crash. I found that out the hard way. So yeah, and that saves about 5 or 10 seconds. We're still about 20 seconds behind at this point. Oh, by the way, here's another villain. This is Nos 4A2. I know this game's going a mile a minute by now. Normally this game isn't as slow. I'm just tripping over... it isn't as blisteringly fast in its pace. I'm just tripping over my words a bit. And for some reason, we're on a hoverboard for all of this level, because I guess vampires are just too fast to be chased on foot. And a new mechanic introduced in this level is bombs. See these right here? These are bombs. Whenever a boss passes a bomb, it will activate, and then we have anywhere ranging from 30 seconds to a minute to destroy the bomb before it takes out the whole planet and fails us the level. Thankfully, the bombs are some of the weakest enemies in the game. Well, I say enemies, like the weakest things in the game. Literally 2 shots from the starting blaster is enough to take them down. And we've got 50 gax right here, which is, remember what I was talking about? I was talking in Joad 1 about managing our gax. That's the most that we don't want to collect any more gax. We want to avoid all of them, because at the end of the level, it gives you like an optional bonus medal. Medals are like the things you need to progress through the game. They're like stars in Mario, basically. And whenever you beat the end of the level, regardless of if you have the bonus GAC medal or not, it will still count up the amount of GACs you have. So if you have too many, it'll waste time being like, look at how much money you have, you incredible gamer, you! So yeah, we want to avoid that. And because we need to pick up 3 weapons in this, which cost 15 gax each. So that's a grand total of 45 gax. I'm going to pick up some extra ones because that's really hard to avoid. So yeah, 50 gax is the ideal. Because that way you can... it's the minimum you can pick up, whilst also avoiding... while also having the counter at the end be as low as possible. And the first gun we're going to pick up should be coming up here in just a moment. This, not that yellow gun there. We want to pick up... where is it? Here we go. This ice gun. And when and every weapon can be upgraded by buying them again. Because, for some reason, despite Buzz being a member of Star Command, a Space Ranger, he has to buy all his own equipment.
I got this one, Buzz.
And we pick up a bonus Gatling gun there for beating the level before the boss. Mira softens the boss up again.
Thanks, Mira.
And now this boss has a mechanic that no other boss in the game has, where once we strip their shields, they won't be able to die until we take out these 4 turrets that are protecting them on the outside. So we do that. Oh jeez. Health's looking a wee bit risky, so I'm going to wrap around and pick up some health. And once we take out this one out, Nos 4A2 will just kind of die on his own. I would just like to address, by the way, the fact that this boss is a robot vampire who feeds on robots, and his name is Nos 4A2. This is the kind of writing we're dealing with. Anyway, on to the 4th planet, KARN, where we're going to hear one of my favorite voices in the game.
Stop in the name of the Galactic Alliance.
I don't think so, Ranger.
Both the villains on KARN have just sublime voice acting. Anyway, this is kind of like a jungle planet. There's not much to talk about here, it's just a matter of being efficient with your movement, and I've already bonked on a tree there, that's bad. We want to be taking these corners really tight. A lot of the movement principles in this game are kind of similar to like a kart racer or something. You just want to take the corners tight. And this level actually has one of the lowest mandatory GAC requirements of any level. We have 15 GACs right now, and that is all that we need. All we need to buy in this level is a rocket launcher, and that's it. So now that we have these 15 GACs, we don't want to pick up any more. I mean, we're gonna pick up some more because the bosses drop GACs like it's going out of style. Jump over this water, and now we have the rocket launcher, which again one-shots everything. Kill that bird. Those like pterodactyl birds are some of the most annoying enemies in the game because they like homing dive bomb you, and if you bonk into them, then all of your momentum goes away. Despite the fact that the manual for this game says that Buzz never gets tired, he's a space ranger. He can be like stopped dead in his tracks pretty easily. So yeah, the rest of this level is pretty much just a matter of having good movement. We're taking a lot of damage, but it doesn't matter because we're playing on the easier difficulty. I think there's Cadet and Ranger. And in Cadet, you like do not have to worry about your health at all, except for maybe on the final boss. This rocket launcher, by the way, it really does just own everything. And it owns everything from really far away, which is very nice. And we're going to be coming up on the boss fight here, and you're going to be able to see, once again, just the raw power of this rocket launcher on even bosses. So we're going to go into the boss fight, watch the mirror cutscene again, get used to that face, you're going to be seeing it a lot. You're going to be seeing it 14 times, well, 13 times, actually. She doesn't appear in the final level. Take out the first shield, take out the second shield, and blammo. We're skipping all of these FMV cutscenes, by the way, just because why would we watch them? The rules for this game say that we're... Oh, by the way, there's another quality face coming up at the start of this level.
Can we make some kind of arrangement? The only arrangement...
Goddamn rectangular, cuboid head-looking ass.
Enough to defend you. Well, off we go then.
This is the Fixer, a minor villain from the show, voiced by Ed Asner of all people, a legendary actor/voice actor who you probably recognize most as the voice of Carl from Up. He's very good at playing old men. There's a lot of actually surprisingly great comedy talent in this game, and in the show as well, because a lot of the voice actors came back. One of the only ones who didn't come back, sadly, is the voice actor for Zurg, Wayne Knight, who, again, you also might know as Al from Toy Story 2. He was one of the best parts of the show, and it saddens me that they weren't able to get him back. And I missed a gun earlier, and now I've missed some fuel, so this bit's looking a little bit dicey. This is the jet bike, by the way. I've missed another gun. Why do I... Oh, okay, now it's looking a little bit dicey. Okay, now I could run out of fuel at any moment if I miss any more. You have to really watch your fuel in this. Oh, and we bonked there, so we might be in trouble. Yeah, we ran out of fuel just a little bit early. Yeah, this is the plasma gun, which is what we're going to be using against, in the boss at the end of this level. When you upgrade it, it doesn't do additional damage, but it gains a spread shot. This music's bopping, by the way. I just want to, like... Normally I address it earlier than this in the run, but the music for this game slaps, kinda. In that weird way that only licensed game soundtracks can slap. So, the composer for this game, Keith Leary, has a very distinct style. You might have heard him from some other licensed games. He did, the Muppet Race Mania game? I can't remember exactly what it's called, that Traveler's Tales also did. He composed for that. He did the game of Stuart Little 2. He did the game of the PS2 Cat in the Hat. If you've played any of those, you'll recognize his music style immediately. They all sound incredibly similar. And he's actually doing some great things now. He's like an in-house mixer, producer type guy at Sony. He's worked on Bloodborne, he worked on The Order 1886, he worked on Journey. He's great. Big legend. Big ups to Keith Leary. Anyway, here's the boss. This is one of the only instances of RNG in the run. We're gonna stand still and hope he doesn't land near us, because if he doesn't, that's the good pattern. He's giving us the good pattern. Okay. Oh, he might... Nope. He decided not to give us the good pattern. Okay. Basically, he can either go up and down like this, like he's doing now, or he can just stay on the ground forever. So yeah, this is actually incredibly bad. If he stays on the ground, then you can just go at him. Where even are you? Oh my god, this is the worst fixer I've had in a very long time. We're almost a minute behind. I've got live split going as well. This is not very good at all. Anyway, now the levels start repeating. This is Joad 2, where we're fighting Torque, who is voiced by another legendary voice actor, Brad Garrett, who, again, animation fans might recognize as the voice of Gusteau in Ratatouille, and music fans might recognize him as the weird guy with the sword on the back of Discovery by Electric Light Orchestra. So yeah, a ton of talent went into both the show and the game. And it's wild that they managed to get most of them to come back for basically a PS1 game tie-in. Even though I'm playing the PC version, yeah. So they've got the hoverboard here, and I missed that money. That's very bad. That's gonna put our Gax in a bit of a pickle for the rest of the level. Gonna pick some up here. Get over the hay. You just always get stuck there. There's no way to make that look clean. Got the rocket launcher. Now, in this level, we're going to be using a strat that we don't use for most bosses, where, Oh dear. Oh no, it's all gone to pot. We missed that jet bike. That's the first time I've ever missed that, but don't worry, we can just pick another one up right here. It's not as bad, but could have been worse. Got that fuel. Bonk the tree. That's not supposed to happen. Down we go. Take out the bomb, go over on this thing, and we're not going to pick up these weapons, because pretty much what we're about to do is...
I got this one, Buzz.
If you get close enough to the boss, your projectiles can go past the shield and just hit them. So for most of these shields, we're just going to be using the rocket launcher to get them stuck inside the boss and deplete the health, because it's easier than faffing around and switching multiple weapons. See that? Look at that damage. That was surprisingly clean. That's not as clean as it can be, but that was still relatively good. And we're about halfway through the game already, if you can believe that. This is KARN 2. Here's some more great voice acting.
Never, Buzz Lightyear.
And we're going to wait just a little bit to let him get a bit of a head start on us, because otherwise he bonks into us when we're picking up this jetpack coming up, and that can cause just a little bit of shenanigans. So we just gave him a little bit of breathing room. Those aliens that are bouncing around, by the way, I didn't explain those. Those are little green men, or LGMs, and basically, as well as the bonus GAC medal, in each level you can pick up a bonus medal for saving all of the LGMs. But of course, because this is New Game Plus, we don't got to worry about doing that now, do we? And this boss has some of the best audio in the game, because normally I jump over that. I don't know what happened there. But yeah, I'm pretty sure they mixed up this boss's hurt sound and his death sound, because when he dies, he just goes, ah! But when he gets hit, he goes like, no! Like he's in extreme agony. It's really quite something. You'll hear it when we get to the end of this level, and once we hear it, you won't be able to unhear it. I know I already used this phrase like 5 seconds ago, but it really is quite something. Like, I can't even do it properly. I can't go that high and that gravelly at the same time. These slopes are your worst nightmare. Going on those slopes kills, like, all of Buzz's speed, so you gotta, like, jump up them, like, and it's really awkward. We've got about 60, 70 gax, which is good, because we need to buy a Gatling gun, which costs a whole 60 gax. Oh. That was weird. Sometimes when you land on some surfaces in this game, you don't actually land and you just kind of glide over them. Which in some areas can cause you to be in your like falling animation for so long that you go into like a second falling animation and do like a stumble animation at the end. You never see it in this run unless I mess up horribly. Anyway, there's the Gatling gun. And we're going to pick up a second one of these for a fire rate and damage upgrade when we get to the boss fight. No. Stop messing up these incredibly easy jumps. Oh dear. Anyway, here we go. You're gonna hear the noise. I'm just gonna let this play out.
I softened them up for you, Buzz.
Thanks, Mira.
Always willing to lend a helping hand.
That's a good noise. That was relatively more cooperative than usual. So I'll take that. We still lost time, but I'll take it. Anyway, now on to Ice World, the level that has ice physics. Yeah. This is the boss, by the way, another boss where they had about 3.5 polygons and a ham sandwich to model him with. Now, this is actually really tricky. We've got to do take an incredibly precise path with ice physics. And it seems like we got it. We're going to pick up this shield, which takes away the ice physics, and yeah, that was more or less perfect movement. Could have been better, but still more or less perfect. And now, like I say, because of this shield, this like nullifies the ice physics. So if we play the rest of the level right, we shouldn't have to worry about the ice physics ever again. We just have to make sure that we pick up enough money to take a bunch of incredibly precise jump booster pad things later on in the level. Thankfully, these tank-type enemies, they drop about 25 gax for each one you kill, so yeah, 110 gax here, we're gonna be completely fine. We have to pick up an LGM there. That's the only forced LGM pickup in the run. That is the one alien that gets saved. And from now on, we don't have to worry about our gax. The rest of the level is pretty easy, except for that annoyingly difficult first section. I spent like a whole hour one day just grinding that first part of the level out with the ice physics until it was basically muscle memory. Gonna pick up some safety gax. And a safety shield, because, well, I missed the shield trying to dodge some enemies. These bees are going to swarm us, that's not good. And this guy might zap us and take away our shield, but okay, no, we're good. We're going to take this teleporter. This is the only teleporter we take in the run. Well, actually, no, it isn't. I've just remembered there's one we take later. But for the most part, teleporters, they're either too close together to be worth it, and also they take away your vehicle, so they're generally not worth it, except for that one and one later in the run.
Thanks, Mira.
Always willing to lend a helping hand.
Anyway, here's the boss. Another one we just take out with a rocket launcher. There we go. This game has a lot of interesting faces. I'm gonna go with interesting as the adjective of choice. Anyway, up next is Bathros, which is the only water level. There's this fish with a laser cannon strapped to his back and lips to die for. This level has my favorite music in the game, probably. I don't know what made Keith Leary decide to go with like a kind of Indian, like a sort of Indian Hindi motif for this song, but I'm glad he did because it slaps. Anyway, this is the first time we see this level in the run. This is the homing plasma gun, and it might actually be stronger than the rocket launcher. It one-shots more or less every enemy, and it's just generally amazing. I'm going to pick up some money because we need to buy another one of these later on. There's one over there that I'm not going to go for because it would just take up a little too much time having to make that detour. When this song really gets going, like, every time I do this level, I can't stop myself from humming along to it. It's just that good. I'm gonna try and keep myself reined in just for this marathon. Just gonna let you guys enjoy it, because there's not much to say about this level. You just swim. Taking damage hurts you what is annoying a lot more in this level than other levels because they have way more knockback on the projectiles. Anyway, on to the boss fight, no more bangers. But we get a very nice hurt sound on Blackfin. Listen to this.
I softened them up for you, Buzz.
Thanks, Mira.
Always willing to lend a helping hand.
Love that. Oh, by the way, that was Buzz's face mirrored on the inside of the model. That was horrifying. You only see that for like a second, but it haunts your dreams forever. And that was actually a far more cooperative Blackfin than I usually get. The homing projectiles are usually incredibly unreliable, despite the damage they do. Anyway, on to Flame R2, where we face Buzz's longtime rival, Warp Dark Matter, who also has a quality face.
And I tire of your lawlessness, one.
Save it for someone who cares, Buzz.
Warp's voice actor was, again, one of the only ones who they couldn't get to come back for the game. In the show, he was voiced by Deirdre Bader, who you might recognize as Hoss Delgado from The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, where he had a similar kind of gruff, tough guy voice. And we want to avoid those like brain sucker leech thingies because I didn't know this until recently. They actually drain your gax, which is annoying because there's a 20 gack teleporter right here that we want to take. Okay, I'm humming along to this one. I need permission to hum at least one track per level, more or less. And I'm running a little low on gax, but I ought to be fine. I can just pick some more up later and potentially kill an enemy here if I want to go for it. And we're going to take out one of these weird butthole face dudes. And now we go over here, pick up a hoverboard. Making sure that we have enough gax to pick up a Gatling gun before the end of the level. Because with how fast you're going on the hoverboard, and with the entrance to this boss being on kind of like a slope, it's entirely possible to miss the weapons entirely. Thankfully I have a backup strat for if that does happen. I don't have a backup strat for missing that though, that's just embarrassing. Anyway, please don't miss. I'm going to try and kill the forward momentum. Got both of them. Very nice. Even on great runs, I've missed that.
I softened them up for you, Buzz.
Thanks, Mira.
Always willing to lend a helping hand.
And now the climactic showdown with our friend-turned-rival, Warp Dark Matter. Actually, it's just like every other boss in the game. On the splits, that's actually the first time this run where we've saved time. If you can believe that. Anyway, on to Trade World 2, which is where we face XL, who is, again, very interesting.
Well, I'll just have to give it the old Ranger try, won't I?
Trade World, fitting for it being Capitalism Planet, is usually the level where we have to pick up the most... are usually the levels where we have to pick up the most gax and just mind our gax the most. Because picking up as many as we need to while still going fast is kinda difficult. We're gonna make for a slick jump around here to pick up 30 gax. Take out this guy. And we actually got a bonus enemy kill at the start, so we have 5 more than we usually would. We beat XL down to this section, which means we're on good pace. XL's thing is pretty much that one of Buzz's like partners from the show is like a wisecracking robot called XR, and XL was the prototype of that, and he's annoyed that Star Command pretty much just consigned him to the junk bin. He's voiced by Bobcat Goldthwait, another minor legend. Gonna take out these bees. And we've actually got far more gax than we usually would, so we're gonna be pretty much completely fine. We're gonna run out of fuel a little earlier than the game intends us to here because we're using the boost on this jet bike. Get on this hoverboard, make this slow and awkward turn around, don't worry about it. Pick up a freeze gun, because XL is the only boss in the game who has a shield weak to freeze guns. And now we take... and there's a bunch of platforms over there, but we're just gonna skip them by going over here. Okay. That was a little slower than I would have liked, that jump right there. I had to sort of course correct a little bit because of fuel counts. Take out that bomb. And we're good. And now we gotta not miss any fuel here, because if we do, then it's a long walk to the end of the level. And now we're gonna get on here, just so that when the game takes our vehicle away, we'll be a little further up than usual. I messed up that. That doesn't usually happen. But onward and upward. And you'll be able to tell if I'm on great pace, because the music won't have time to loop by the time I get to the end of the level. If the music starts looping, then that means we're not quite on the best cycle we could be. I don't think we're gonna make it. Yeah, we didn't make it. Ah, that's annoying. The way this boss is supposed to work is you have to shoot these turrets to turn them onto your side and take out the boss's blue shield, but you can also just shoot him with the freeze gun, and that works as well. And it takes him out like the clappers. Look at this. One of the quickest bosses in the game. That's done. Now on to CANIS LUNIS 2, which is one of the only pretty much the only level in the game with a skip in it. And I realized before this run that this skip never got officially named, so I'm going to take the initiative and name this skip right here and now. This skip is called Trans Rights a Human Rights Skip. It's relatively easy, so we should get a first try Trans Rights a Human Rights Skip. Just got to jump over here. There we go, first try Trans Rights a Human Rights. Basically, the way this level normally works is when the boss goes through the door locks behind him, and we then have to fight our way through a couple of waves of enemies to open the door before the bomb goes off. But by doing that, we just clipped through the wall, and we broke the whole level in half. The boss is stuck back there because the game doesn't want him to get too far ahead of us. So basically now we can just do the level at our own pace. We can do literally whatever we like. So we're just going to run straight to the end. We gotta make sure to pick up enough guns along the way, but yeah, basically we're just gonna take out the bombs, even though we don't need to take out the bombs in this level, because the bombs only activate when the boss passes them. But we're still gonna take them out for money, because 10 gax every time is nothing to sneeze at. Take out some of these guys just for a little extra money. The annoying thing about a lot of enemies in this game is they only drop their gax after their death animation is complete. So, a lot of enemies you can kill in time, but then you'd have to wait for them to, like, drop their money. It's incredibly irritating. This was always the level that killed me when I played this game as a kid, because I didn't own a PS1 memory card back in the day. So, and this level was always, like, just really hard, so I'd never be able to actually complete it in a day before I had to turn the PS1 off and let my dad watch the football. So, deciding to speedrun the game and finding out that actually you could completely skip this whole level blew my mind, and that was what really made me want to run the game. We have over 60 gax, which means we can take one of these bounce pads at the end. The second one sends you a little bit further, but also it makes it slightly more nerve-wracking trying to pick up that gun, which we need, so... yeah. Now we're gonna fight the boss, who magically teleported over here from all the way back at the start of the level. And this boss is a slippery little fella. That was still relatively clean. We saved a good few seconds there. Normally that boss goes a little bit pear-shaped, but otherwise we're fine. And anyway, now we're moving on to the second to last level, Planet Z, which has an incredibly dangerous speed strat that I'm gonna try and go for anyway. Worst case scenario, I lose a few minutes by having to redo the level. I can usually get it. If I don't think I'm going fast enough to go for it, then I won't go for it. Basically, there's a teleporter at the end of the level that puts you a good bit ahead in the level, but also it skips a bomb. So unless you're on, like, near-perfect movement throughout the whole level, then Zerg will activate that bomb before you get to the end of the level, and when a bomb is active, you can't enter a boss fight. So it's incredibly rough trying to get this. I'm usually able to get it, though, so I'm probably gonna go for it. Eh. Can we take out that enemy in time? Yes, we can. Which means we're able to pick up this homing plasma gun, and we're going to be able to pick up this next one in here without having to detour in this room for any additional gax. And now we have two of these, so we can destroy pretty much every enemy we feel like. This dude, who's usually really tanky, gone. Gat counts are looking pretty good. This is about where we usually are at this point in the level, 38. Take out that guy, take out the bomb. Go through these tunnels. Jump around this mine. Get up here. Watch out for these red lasers, because those red lasers are the only enemy projectiles outside of Bathros enemies that actually have knockback, so they can impede your movement. You'll notice that a lot in the final boss, where at one point we take fire from like 5 of those enemies at once, and we almost can't move. The knockback is so severe. Anyway, we're gonna take this teleporter, and by this point, basically, this is where potentially the magic happens. Gonna make this jump across here. Health is looking a little low, but don't worry about it. There's like none of the level that's actually left, and there's health up here anyway. It's worth noting that despite this being the final level, what's coming up here is not the final boss. That gets a level of its own. We got the pace, thank God. My biggest fear is going for that in a marathon and not getting it, because that's like a solid 2 or 3 minute time loss if you don't get that. Anyway, here's Zerg. He's just a regular boss. And on we go, on to Planet Z again, this time for Zerg's throne room. There's an early kill we can get in this fight, but it's incredibly inconsistent. I'm gonna go for it, but if I don't get it, then... swings and roundabouts. Basically, Zerg is gonna come down on his, like, flying throne chair thing, let us hit him, and then fly back up while he sends a bunch of enemies our way. And we have to farm those enemies for weapons. We're only going to really start to be able to do damage to him after the second round of enemies, because that's when we have enough gax to afford a rocket launcher. For now, look at all the damage we're not doing to him. Anyway, these are the dudes that fire those red lasers I was talking about with the knockback. And seriously, look at how much I, like, can't move here because of those guys. It's actually possible for one of these enemies to not spawn, which is incredibly annoying when it happens, because pretty much every gack counts in this fight. The second tier rocket launcher might make it possible for us to kill him. Okay, no, we're not going to get it. We didn't get the glitch kill. We should still be able to take him down on the next cycle anyway. There we go. That's what... Normally you can get that on the second phase. I'm gonna pause there just because for some reason if you don't pause there then the music goes away. And we're gonna just shoot this guy into his shield even though we don't have the yellow gun so that we can pick up an extra gack to afford the yellow gun. And this is the final boss of the game. Time is going to be coming up at the end of this fight. Please cooperate with me, Zerg. I like how when you hit Zerg in this phase, he just kind of sounds mildly annoyed. He just goes like, hey. And this is a relatively cooperative Zerg so far. His health starts doing weird things in this final phase. He looks like he doesn't take damage, except he's moving, in which case he takes all of the damage. And time. Sorry, I should have warned you for that. I didn't think he was going to die quite that quickly. Let's enjoy this final cutscene.
Shields at full! Triangulate lasers and fire!
This cutscene, by the way, has nothing to do with anything.
How could it know our targeting system?
It's just because it's a clip of Buzz doing something cool.
It has passed through the shields.
Where's that missile headed?
The refuse hatch.
Great guns! Fellas, we're done for.
Situation's looking pretty bleak for Star Command, but in comes Buzz Lightyear, Space Ranger, who physically bends the missile out of the way and rides it off into the cosmos. What a hero. Congratulations! And now we get to watch every enemy in the game do a parade around the final boss arena for our troubles. Thanks for watching, everybody. I've got a 40-22 on my end, which is pretty good. That's about 35 seconds ahead of my actual world record. But yeah, this is a relatively entertaining run, even with the shenanigans at the start. I apologize for the amount of false starts there, but I hope you've all enjoyed yourselves. Have a good time. Trans people are valid. Take care, everybody.